Welcome back, you gorgeous and beautiful people from the internet. My name is Manzi Crypto, and today we're going to continue on with a beautiful series over here, Chainz Arena Mobox Edition. Now, there's a few people that ask me, what is a good budget team that you would want? In my opinion, the strongest, whether you're playing gold, whether you're playing legendary, team to actually buy, obviously, is water. I think water is by far the strongest element in this game right now. That is not even a joke, right? If you look at just pure damage dealers, so if I change this to water, if you just look at pure damage dealers, Gunner is by far the strongest damage dealer in the game, and there's no doubt about that. Gunner is very, very strong because of how her composition is and also what she does. So when she kills someone, she gets another round, okay? And then she has 600% damage to the highest attack. She could one-shot someone with 600% attack damage and then have another round. So potentially it's gonna take her 3 rounds to get the first proc off. But since after that she might actually get it every second round instead of every 3 rounds, as any other card would be. So that makes Gunner by far the strongest damage dealer in the game. Then we have this guy right here, Cursed Blade. Cursed Blade is also really strong, especially if you put it with Gunner. So this guy would finish off if that guy didn't die. It will deal 600% attack damage to the enemy with the lowest HP. So every time he loses health, he also will have more crit. So he's going to crit more and do more damage, obviously. So the lower health he is, the more crit rating he's getting. So that is the 2 best damage dealers you get in water. However, there are more, right? You have Water Sorcerer. This guy right here deals 300 attack damage to the enemy with the highest attack, and also reduce their attack by 20% for 3 rounds. So after 3 rounds, this guy will keep this debuff on their highest attack card, if they don't die, per se. What makes this card very strong is the fact that he's going to put this on the boss when you're fighting in PvE, and also make the boss potentially 20% weaker for the rest of the game after round 3. This is insane. This is by far, in my opinion, the strongest card for boss fights. Okay, that is why it's in my deck. I have a 3-star, or I would say 8-star Sorcerer Water, and I'm not going to change it. Okay, I'm going to definitely play this card because of that. You rank higher in PvE. Then you also have Water Sniper. This guy deals 600% attack damage to the enemy with the lowest HP. Now this makes you think of Cursed Blade. It is pretty much Cursed Blade, but just weaker. Because he doesn't have that increased crit chance the lower his HP goes. That's why Legendary is stronger than Gold. However, it's 10 times more expensive. Then you also have this chick right here, Spirit Master Blue. There's a lot of people that actually play this card in PvP, and there's a very good reason for it. It deals 320% attack damage to all enemies. I've seen people only level up this card 3-star or 8-star, right? 8-star this card all the way up to the max, and they almost one-shot your team at round 3. This is an insane card, but just for PvP. This guy sucks in PvE. You're not going to rank very well in dungeons compared to other people that doesn't play this card. So just by those guys alone, I showed you guys 5 cards. 3 of them were gold, 2 of them were legendary. They are gold. Water is by far the strongest element in this game. Not even to mention how strong Water Iris is. This is by far the strongest healer in the game. Especially if you make Iris your highest attack card inside your team. Because of this buff right here. When HP is below 60%, heal all heroes 200% of attack and gain a shield of 800% of attack. That shield is insane. It's the biggest shield in the game. But only proc once, but still, it's huge. So, by far, in my opinion, water, like, if you don't go water, you most probably won't do well. Okay, I don't know if they're gonna nerf water at all. But water is by far the strongest element in the game, whether you're playing with gold cards, or whether you're playing with legendary. Water, you cannot deny, is the best element in the game. So what is the second best? So in my opinion, fire is second best if you're playing legendary. Not if you're playing gold cards, right? Or epic. So this guy right here is very, very strong. So whenever he dies, he's going to do 120% attack damage to all enemies for the rest of the game until they get cleansed or immunity or whatever. Any cleanses would remove that. But there's so many people that will not play with a cleanse. For example, me. I will forever in this game, I will never have a cleanse unless we get something inside the I keep forgetting what it's called. Inside the guild technology. So that makes that card very strong. However, it's one of the weakest cards inside Euro Trial. That is why I have one, but I'm not playing it. I rather play Battle Axe because I think is the strongest tank in the game because of how much stuns he give. Okay, so when he reaches 60% health, he gains a 40% chance to stun all enemies for 2 rounds. When that procs, you normally win. Okay, I don't think there's going to be anyone that could beat me unless they spend so much more money than me. But if this procs and I do stun them in PvP, I normally win. You know, it's a 40% chance, but still, like, it happens a lot of fights, right? And that single-handedly would win you a fight. Like, not even a joke, if that ever procs. Then we also have the best healer in the game right now, that is Fire. That is Exorcist. Exorcist is by far the strongest healer in the game. Iris is technically not a healer, right? Because she doesn't heal every 3 rounds. She's gonna silence the enemy team and do some damage and make their cards be a little bit scrambled when it comes to abilities and stuff like that. But so what makes this card strong is when he reaches 60% health, he's gonna heal 200% of attack, and then he's gonna heal 160% attack for 4 rounds longer. Heal 2 euros every 3 rounds, this is. Heal 2 euros with the lowest HP by 160%, and continue to heal 100% of attack for 2 rounds. So pretty much, you'll keep this, after round 3, you'll keep this buff on your tank forever. That is why he's the strongest healer in the game. There's no other healer that comes close to the amount of heals that Fire Exorcist at this moment can give, right? Maybe later down the line when there's shadow and light or whatever introduced, there might be a better healer. Then you have some mediocre DPS cards as well, right? Sniper is one of them. So he's going to deal 200% attack damage to 2 heroes with lowest health and also reduce their healing, which is not the greatest. Then you have this card right here, Phantom Fox, which I'm playing. So every time you attack, you have a 70% chance to stun the enemy for 1 round, which is really good. And then you have this thing as well that attacks 3 people, 3 random people, and this chance to stun is still on them, right? And also it will deal 70% chance to deal 120 after damage for 2 rounds. I think that is supposed to be percent, but it doesn't show. Then you have this guy right here also. This is also one of the strongest cards, in my opinion. Deal 200% attack to 2 euros with the lowest HP, and 80% chance to deal 120%, I would say, after attack damage for 2 rounds. Each successful kill, the enemy increases the damage by 40%. So he increases his damage the whole time. If he gets a successful kill. Like, how if some other cards kill the enemy, it doesn't count. Like, Spurtmaster has to kill them to count towards her stats. And this guy as well is also pretty good. Deal 400% attack damage for 2 rounds with the lowest HP. And every time you lose 5% health, you gain 8% attack. So lower health, the more damage he will deal. So there is some gold cards that are decent as well, like this guy right here. So if you put him in a combination, you give him the highest speed. This icon right here is speed. If you give it the highest speed but not the highest attack, because it should always be your healer, should always be the highest attack. You give it the highest speed in your team, it's gonna cause this debuff on the enemy with the lowest HP. So it will reduce 20% armor. And then you can have stuff like the 2 water guys finish off the guy, because it will have lower armor, right? So there are ways to play around. And obviously, if you're gonna play gold cards, and you want to eventually go to legendary, it might be better for you to even just stick with the buffs, right? The water, no joke, like water is by far the strongest. But your second buff, you can also go with fire. So with fire, you can pretty much go this tank right here. The tank doesn't matter, it's just gonna sit there and take damage. So you like the skills doesn't really matter. When it comes to leveling up, you only level up these 2 things, resistance and armor, so that he doesn't die too quick. However, you can also use a different tank. Oh, there's only that one tank in fire. Let's have a look at wood. Wait. Let's go back to fire quickly. Fire gold also has a decent healer, right? This guy right here. It's going to heal 2 euros with the lowest health for 300% of attack. That is a big heal. And it's not overtime or anything like that. It's just zap 300, right? It is a pretty good heal. So fire also has a really good healer. And yeah, if you're gonna go water and fire with gold cards, just get this guy right here. Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer I would go with. Then Bloodthirsty Blade. And then definitely the healer, Guider. And if you're gonna go with water, make sure that you always have 2 healers. So if you're gonna go water, you should get Exorcist, 2 euros, lowest health, 300% attack. And then these 2 guys right here, Water Sorcerer and Water Sniper. And the order is obviously, like I said before, it's your tank first, no doubt about that, and then your healer second and third. Or you can put a healer in the back line as well if you're gonna play double healer. I'm gonna play double healer once I finish my deck, but I don't think the other elements is really worth checking out. However, Earth does have Earth Sorcerer, which is also really strong. And the only reason is because Water Iris is meta. And this guy counters Water Iris because it will purge or dispel all buffs to the 2 enemies it attacks. So it will take that 800% shield off of them if you're playing with this guy right here. And also he has one of the highest damage deal abilities that you have on 2 attack heroes right here. So after his HP goes to 60%, he deals 400% attack to the 2 enemies with the highest attack for 3 rounds. This, if they don't get cleansed, they would die. So, also a really strong card. However, I don't feel like there's other cards really worth mentioning. If you are gonna go if you are gonna go water and earth, legendary, then obviously you need to get this guy right here, the Water Sorcerer, Earth Sorcerer. Then you're still missing a tank. So I would go with Dragon Slayer Earth because he's pretty good. And then I would go, because the healers is pretty bad with Earth, then I would go with this guy right here, Phantom Fox. It does exactly the same thing as Firefox. The only difference is that instead of stunning, they will get confused. And you can argue that confused is actually better than stun. So there you have that. At least you have a good damage dealer. I wouldn't go with any Earth golds, to be honest. Not that I really checked much about it, but Iris don't do healing. She does damage. So you can pretty much counter as a mage. She's not a healer. And there's no other like good healer, right? Heals 2 euros the lowest HP, 460%, and gain his shield. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good healer right there. And then the last one is wood. Oh, wait. This guy is also really good. Bloodthirsty Blade Earth. So it will deal 300% attack damage to the enemy with the lowest HP and increases attack by 20% lasting 3 rounds. So after round 3, he's going to keep this buff on him unless he gets cleansed or something. But also the cool thing is if he gets a kill, he's going to go to full health. So that's also pretty good. So you can clearly see making that guy your strongest card could also be very beneficial. However, keep your healers the highest damage dealer, please. Okay, so let's go to... Yeah, let's go to wood. So if you're gonna go water wood with legendary, then obviously you have to get Gunner, right? Gunner is by far the strongest damage dealer in the game. Right? Water or earth. Sorry, water or nature. They're both insanely strong. And it's because this guy is the anti-tank or anti-boss. It will deal 5% of the enemy's damage, or sorry, 5% of the enemy's HP as damage. So it does percentage damage, which is really good against bosses. And then also, let's see over here. This guy right here, Exorcist, right? If he gets to a certain percent health, 60%, he's going to become invincible for 2 rounds. And his ability also makes people invincible. This is not a good healer at all, but it's a very good substitute as a tank. So if you go water and you have water iris and you play Exorcist, I would highly recommend that you not do that. But if you do, you can pretty much play 4 damage dealers instead of which everyone else would use as 3. Because most people will play with 2 healers, 1 tank, and 3 damage. But if you play this guy right here, the Exorcist Nature, you can get away with 2 healers and 4 damage. So what I would do then, I would definitely play this card, the Spirit Master, put this in my first slot, only level up this ability right here, and then I would, that become my quote-unquote tank, right? You can also level this guy up to have the highest damage in your team because you want it to die as soon as possible. And then you can use this Exorcist as the second slot just to prevent them from wiping your team so quickly. It will cost some cleanses and stuff like that. And then your Gunner. This is the 3 I would use, right? Spirit Master first, Exorcist second, and then Gunmaster. Or Gunner, sorry. Also, when it comes to gold cards, like, there's no healer other than Iris. And oh, Iris is a heal. Iris Nature has a heal. Wow. Heal the hero with the lowest HP 240% and continue to heal for 70% after for 2 rounds. This is a pretty significant single target heal. It's a pretty strong single target healing right there, which is really good for if you don't want your tank to die. When it comes to gold damage dealers, just make sure it doesn't attack a column or a row, because it is the worst attacks you can get. Rather find something that will do damage to the highest attack or lowest HP. That is just the way better way to play the game. To deal 200% attack to the back row enemy is terrible. I would not use this at all. See this guy right here? 200% to the front row enemy is terrible. I wouldn't use that. Tanks doesn't really matter what they do. Because you're not leveling up this at all. You're just leveling up these 2 abilities or skill 2 and 4 with tanks. Nothing else. And that's it, right? This guy also damage dealer. 400% back row. That's a pretty significant damage, but you will suck in PvE. Another tank. Here's another damage dealer. 180% to the front line. Dude, come on, bro. So, I would not go nature. 160% attack to the 4 random enemies and deal 60%. This is not bad. Nature Sorcerer is not bad. So I would go with Iris, Nature Sorcerer, and then any tank. There's 2 tanks. They're right below each other. So there you guys go. This is how you would build your team, right? Just make sure healer is the highest attack damage in your team, and the rest will just follow in. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, smash a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the very next video. Love you guys, take care, and as always, remember to twist some nips. Cheerios, bye-bye.